Welcome back, everyone. Mariah Monetize here, and there's some breaking news out of the cryptocurrency space. SBF has been charged on multiple counts, and it is pretty exciting. Actually, I wish I would have grabbed myself a beer while making this video, because you know what? I would say that is something to celebrate. Just in, U.S. government charges Sam Bankman-Fried with money laundering, wire fraud, and securities fraud, reported from the New York Times. So I would say that's all pretty darn good news in my opinion. I don't even know why it took so long, but that is the situation there. So I'm going to be going over also some Celsius information today. There's kind of been a decent amount of things developing and many things that I thought would be important to share with you. And then I'm also going to be going into the price of Bitcoin today and letting you guys know if I have bought back into my position that I sold months ago. So on May 2nd, C-suite executives knew that what was going on at Celsius, and they actually began withdrawing funds. There's also been talk about clawbacks. So what are clawbacks? Clawbacks are basically like if you withdrew from Celsius within like 90 days prior to them shutting down withdrawals, that they could potentially ask for those funds back. It seems like it's not too likely that that's going to happen, but I think it's important to mention that it absolutely has been discussed. So also the bankruptcy judge orders $44 million to be returned to Celsius customers. So if you guys remember, there was the earn account. That was the account that was earning interest, and there was a custody account. That account was not earning anything. So it seems like people are going to get some funds back that had funds in a pure custody account. What does pure custody mean? That means that those funds did not go back and forth between earn and custody. They were always in custody and they never touched an earn account, okay? There's also, people are going to be getting back $7,575, and that is for the people that had their funds in custody. But I'm not exactly sure on the timeline or exactly how that's going to play out. I myself don't think I'm in that category. I think all my funds pretty much had touched a earn account. So hopefully, though, some of you will have the opportunity to get some funds back. January 3rd is the due date if you need to file a claim form. So if Celsius, on those statements, if the amount in your account was not stated correctly, okay, if there were errors, and you need to be filing a claim report, which is due January 3rd. There's also a possibility that a new claim form is going to be released, and that would give people the opportunity to file a claim, for example, against like Alex Mashinsky, and stating that, you know, he basically lied about what he's doing with our funds, how the internal business of Celsius was operating and functioning. So that's not a for sure thing, but it is a possibility, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, there could be a new claim form, but that has not actually happened yet. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the price of Bitcoin, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at iTrust Capital. So iTrust Capital is a place where you can actually buy Bitcoin and crypto in a IRA account, a Roth IRA, traditional IRA. You can also roll over your 401k, TSP, 403b, 457, and more. You can actually trade within your iTrust Capital account, and it is a non-taxable event, which is massive. It's just a 1% fee. They do not charge you a monthly fee to hold your funds, so you can just buy Bitcoin now, withdraw it when you're 59.5, and pay zero taxes on the increase in value on Bitcoin. So that is huge. They offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other assets, including precious metals. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at $17,164. I have not checked the charts in a few days, so I am going to be looking at these charts with a fresh eye with all of you this evening. So let's go ahead and see here. Bitcoin was trading just below 17,000 pretty much all weekend. I didn't get the opportunity to check the price too often, but it seemed like the price was fairly stable. So this is a weekly chart here. Basically, like, once this green crosses over the red, I think it's pretty much go time after that. And what I would be interested in seeing is if this green 2 starts trading above the green 1. The high of this one candle right here is 17,439. So we're actually kind of close to it. You know, I don't really like this activity that we saw off of the bottom here. And when we look at it from a percentage perspective, let's check it out. It was about a 12% gain. To me, that's not substantial. I was looking for a hard move off what I believe is going to be the bottom of about 25%. That doesn't have to happen, but I just do not like Bitcoin's behavior after hitting the previous bottom. So this right here is the daily chart on Bitcoin. A little bit of sideways trading here over the last few days. There's not a lot of conviction on this chart for me to say that it is a bullish chart. I would consider this a neutral chart. If we do see Bitcoin run up, I could see a lot of resistance happening at about 17,750 in that range right there. I would anticipate this DMA right here to suppress it a bit. Let's take a look at the 12-hour chart here. 12-hour chart here, I would say, is really not. It's leaning more bearish, but slightly neutral as well. Bitcoin failed to make a higher high. It made a lower high. What we do have here is a higher low. So Bitcoin can get above the high of this candle right here, which is 17,343. Then we might see some more continuation up to that range that I mentioned, 17,750. That's where I would anticipate a bit of resistance. This is a 4-hour chart here, which has not made a higher high. It has some time here on this sequence to make a higher high, but it hasn't made it yet. So Bitcoin's kind of like right there on the edge of seeing a bit more room to the upside. So 1-hour chart has picked up some steam here. We did get a low that came in, let's say the 12th. This was yesterday. The low of this candle was 16,857. Let's see. So decent buying opportunity there for a short-term flip if you caught that. I'm currently not trading. I'm looking for a lot of conviction in these charts to enter any even short-term position. So hourly chart technically still has not made a higher high. I want to see it go above the high of this candle right here, which is 17,265. Let's go and take a look here at the 30-minute chart looking good. So these lower level time frames are looking pretty decent, like they have a little bit more room for continuation, but the 5-minute chart is trending downwards. So like I mentioned before, sometimes Ethereum leads the way. So I haven't looked at Ethereum in a while because the truth of the matter is I mostly track Ethereum, and I don't even track the price as much as I track the structure of the candles to see if it's giving us any clues that it's leading the way, because that does happen often. I mentioned that many times, how Ethereum frequently leads the way. So I would say this weekly chart is looking pretty neutral, and actually I would say that the Bitcoin chart is looking a bit more bullish in my opinion. This right here is the daily chart on Ethereum, neutral, not really giving us much. This looks just like the Bitcoin chart, this Ethereum 12-hour, also not giving us anything. 4-hour chart looks the same. There's a lot of similarities actually in these charts. I've looked a few times over the last month or two, and this is some of the most similarities that I've seen when it comes to most of these time frames. So this right here is the 30-minute chart here, and a little bit neutral at the moment, I would say. We need to see Bitcoin make a higher high above the high of this candle right here, which is 1279. All right, so we have Core Scientific sitting at 13 cents. We have gold sitting at 1784. We have Coinbase stock sitting at 42.60. It's up almost 6% on the day today. Litecoin sitting at $76. Let's see here. We have DOT sitting at 515. We have Link sitting at 666. So across the board, small movement today in the price, but just for most coins within a few percentages. So Tesla got hit pretty darn hard today, sitting at 167. And so the low of this candle right here is 166. The low of this candle right here, 167. So incredibly close to challenging the previous low that came in here on November 22nd. So like I've mentioned, I think that Tesla still has quite a bit of ways to go. I think that it's definitely going to reach like the 135 range, and if it kind of breaks there, then I honestly would say that like $60 isn't out of the question. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. I am staying extremely patient. I am not feeling inclined at all to jump into any of these markets. Absolutely not. So let's take a look here at SPY today. SPY sitting at 398. And, you know, we always see the correlation between SPY and Bitcoin. So I would say that the weekly chart is showing a heck of a lot more strength on SPY. So that could be some signs here of continuation. Like I mentioned before, I have really only back tested the moving averages crossing over. So these are 7 and 12 day, 5 and 12 moving averages. And on Bitcoin, when you back test it, every time that green crosses over the red upwards, it's time to buy. And when it crosses down, it's time to get out. And I went back and started with like 100 Bitcoin, like buying it at the most unopportune time in the beginning of Bitcoin's creation. And basically, if you traded that particular signal, you know, from then to now, even though it was a bad time to initially buy, like the top of that time, you would have been up 200 Bitcoin for a total of 300. So this, like I said, is SPY, and it's definitely showing a lot more strength, I would say, compared to Bitcoin. This is a daily chart on SPY. Bit of a pullback here, and it actually has made a lower low. So we want to see SPY for continuation to get above the high of this candle right here, which is $410. But like I said, it saw some resistance at that particular DMA right there. And so let's take a look here at the 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart also looking more on the bearish side. Same thing with the 4. And let's take a look here at the 1-hour chart. 1-hour chart is actually looking decent, so it has made a higher high. So it's kind of what we're seeing there. And when it comes to marijuana stocks, not shrooms, but marijuana stocks, we have Tilray that closed at $3.54. So this right here is the daily chart on Tilray. You guys know that there was some regulation issues. I think it had to deal with banking in the marijuana space. So the marijuana space has a bunch of struggles when it comes to any banking. Like the processors will shut down their accounts like frequently. And so I think it was some regulation regarding that. So that brought down the price significantly. I mean, Tilray went from $5.12 down to the low of today, which was $3.42 within a matter of days. So a pretty strong pullback. And it looks like many marijuana stocks were down in the dumps today on the red side. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. So yeah, like I said, good news. SBF has been charged on multiple counts. So hopefully he serves time that is definitely due and well deserved for just the incompetence. Like when you just hear these stories and how much he has dug himself into a hole, it's really unfortunate. Like I said, iTrust Capital, I have a link down below, and you actually get $100 when you sign up. You only need $1,000 to create your account, so that is pretty awesome there. But let's see. Let's see if I just refresh my Twitter here, if there's any more interesting news around SBF. Let's see here. Let's see. Well, wait. 1 hour ago, Cointelegraph, the former FTX CEO has been arrested by the Royal Bahamas Police Force following formal notification from the United States that it has filed criminal charges against SBF. Oh, see, I didn't see this earlier. I didn't see that he was actually arrested by the Bahamian police, so that's actually quite interesting. Yeah, let's see how the story unfolds. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and hope that you get your funds sooner rather than later. So, that's all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.